What's going on, guys? Welcome back. My name is Brandon. This is my 2018 Neo 7-foot by 16-foot enclosed trailer. It's all aluminum, and today we are going to put in some motorcycle chocks. Stick around. Guys, if you want to know more about this trailer and what it needs, you can see it's got about 10,000 dents on this side, something that we're going to fix in the spring along this side as well. Last week we lubricated the hubs and I took it all apart and checked it. This has Dexter axles on it. Check out last week's episode if you want to find out more specifics of this. But this week I'm going to be putting down some wheel chocks. We will always be, most of the time, hauling two bikes. So I'm setting it up for basically quick loading and unloading of two bikes. To do that, I'm going to be using some flip-up chocks. In the video here pretty soon, we're going to be measuring the tongue and I'm going to be showing you exactly where these bikes need to be. Now, in order to put these motorcycles in the right place, what I need to do is know what I have for weight up at the tongue. And generally, you want between 10 to 15% of the total weight of the trailer and its cargo. So this trailer weighs about 1,800 pounds empty. Again, this is a 7-foot wide, 16-foot long to the box, plus it's got another 2-foot in the V, and inside it is 6'6" tall inside. So what I've got is a bathroom scale set out here, and I've got a little block of wood to spread the weight across the scale. Got a vertical piece sitting right underneath the tongue, and I'm going to take this floor jack, lower it down carefully onto this block, and the total weight, if we're within 10 to 15% unloaded, trailer is 1,800 pounds, then we're going to want to see right around 10% would be 180 pounds on the scale, so between 180 and 200, I would say. So let's carefully let this down and see what that number is. 224. Now I should also note, guys, that I got a couple big heavy socket sets there, an impact, and you can see all these tools, and I've got a set of brake shoes and brake drums and brake pads for another project that I'm working on. So that's adding a little bit of weight up to the front, but that's okay. I put it here because I need to substitute a little bit of weight. That's going to be the cabinets that we're going to be building up here in the front. Alright, so you can kind of see where I've got these placed. That right there, that area, straight across, that'll be basically the front of the cabinet. So that's giving me about probably 18 inches from the face of the cabinets back to the front tire of that bike. And this one I've held back to kind of keep it a little bit over the axles. So between these two bikes, let's just call it 900 pounds. So 10% of that would be 90. So I think we were at like we'll call it 225 plus 90 would be, so 325, 315, right around there. It should be about 315 pounds of tongue weight. All right, so the bike's positioned. Let's see what we got for a weight on it now. We'll let it down onto that. 313. All right, so let's say the trailer is 1,800 empty, plus we add 1,000 in cargo. That equals 2,800. Okay, times 10% equals 280. So we're close. Let's see. 2,800 times 15% equals 420. So yeah, we're good. We're 313. We are all set. We're right in that range. So perfect. We've got a cross member right actually here. So here's the edge of a sheet, and I know I got another one about 16 inches over because I can see the fastener right there. So we're going to put the bracket somewhere right in here. So I put a little black mark there to signify that. And I'm going to put this one just like that. That way, when you walk in the door, you've got completely unobstructed, which will be nice. Holy smokes, it's coming down now, guys. But I want to show you what I ended up buying and why I bought this specific one. Now, this is made and manufactured in USA, and these things are super heavy duty. I will put a link in the description, but these are made to actually fit between floors that are framed 16 on center, and this will sit right flush to the floor, and that's what I wanted, something that I don't necessarily have to like install something, clip it in and put it down. For the 2 bikes that I know I'm always going to be hauling, this is going to be perfect because all I'll do is put it down when it's not in use. And when I want to use it, you just lift it up, your tire fits down in here, and then it's chocks right there. And I was wondering, before I actually saw or felt one of these firsthand, how strong this would actually be. Wondering if I could like fold this over. Absolutely not. If this was like recessed in the floor and bolted down, I don't even think you could probably knock this off with a sledgehammer. Maybe if you hit it hard enough and kept hitting it, but for the most part, this thing is super solid and it's super heavy. But the reason I really like this, like I said, is that it's quick. You can just set it up and put it down. You don't have to snap anything in. When you're done using it, you just put the thing down and it's flush to the floor, and that's that. And you can actually store your straps inside of this area. It's got a nice durable baked on powder coat finish. This track and this track are eventually going to come out, and I'm going to do 3 rows of L track. I'm going to do a row here, one directly down the center, and another one over here, and that'll give me all kinds of tie-off points. And then I can do a different type of stand for something that we don't use all the time, something that maybe can, you know, a front chock that can clip in to that L track that's adjustable, so I can get the hitch weight just right. I really like that it has this flange, and these flanges sit directly on top of the existing cross members because the trailer floor is frame 16 on center, and it'll sit right on that to support that, and it is designed here to fit in between those cross members. Super solid. So first thing I'm going to do is find the center line of the trailer, and then from the center line to the side I got to find center so we can get this located and cut into the floor. So let's do that right now. So inside to inside is 81 inches. Half of that is 40 and a half. We'll put a mark right there. That's center of the trailer. And we'll mark out half of that. 20 and a quarter. So this mark right here, guys, is the center of where this needs to be. And now we got to figure out how wide this is. We'll call that 7.5 inches wide, which half of that is 3 3/4. So we'll go 3 3/4 that way, 7.5 that way. Now I'll just take a framing square, line it up on the crack of this floor, and trace it all out. Now I got to find out where the edge of this frame is right here. So, it's probably somewhere back here. I'm going to start by making the hole smaller than it needs to be, then I'm going to creep up on it, guys, because I don't want to end up hitting the frame or the cross members with the saw cutting into them. Alright, should just drop right in. Look at that. When the bikes aren't being hauled, everything's flush to the floor. When you want to haul the bike, flip it up, wheel the bike right in there, front tire drops right into that, and you're all set. Take your front straps off, throw them inside this, put it down. What I can do is get a couple of the floorboard screws and make this go directly in to that frame right there. Then this will just be a regular bolt with a, a flat, probably like a fender washer underneath, because it's all downwards pressure and a little bit forward, but it can't really go anywhere. So it's not like you've got to put, through bolt it to the other side of this tube. So yeah, that works good. I'm super happy with that. I think what I'm going to do, guys, is put this one in right now, and we'll come back and do the, all the bolts afterwards. So the next one I'm going to cut in, it's going to go right here. It's going to be offset. It's going to be exactly like that one. It's just going to be back one bay. That way that leaves me this whole front piece up here to do stuff. Now, if I ever wanted to haul more than, let's say, 4 bikes, then this bike would go all the way up there, and the chalk would tie into that L track. But for the most part, like I say, we're going to be hauling 2 bikes. That'll be one there, that'll be one here, and possibly a couple dirt bikes back there, maybe, or maybe a 4-wheeler, my grandson's 4-wheeler, so it's hard to say. But yeah, this will cover a lot of it, and it'll just make it really slick, because then I don't have to leave the chocks all the way up all the time, something that's in the way. If I want to haul something different, or like furniture or whatever, I can, and that's not in the way. Gives a nice, clean, finished, flush look. Alright, just going to do the same thing, put the marks on the floor and cut it out. It's nice doing stuff like this, customizing it, making it just the way you want to have it. Because ultimately what you're looking for is to make it a little bit easier to load and unload, and that's kind of what I'm after. Alright, just got to go back under the trailer again, make sure that I'm not going to be cutting into anything when I cut through this. I don't think there will be, but I'll just double check. Nope, it's wide open underneath. Another thing I want to do, guys, is I'm going to pick up some gray paint and just paint around this edge so that there's no issues with it rotting out or anything like that. And I'm also going to undercoat under this trailer as well, although it's probably not necessary. I'm going to do it anyways. So just to give you an idea, this is the piece that I just cut out, that last piece, but look how good the underside is. I mean, there's no signs of rot or mildew. It feels dry. This was where it dropped on the ground, but yeah, so it'll just help preserve it. As you guys know, I like to take good care of my stuff, make it last, I'll probably use fluid film and just kind of blow it on underneath. A gallon of fluid film is a lot quicker to put on than it would be to replace this deck because it's all rotted out. Wheel chalk number 2. Let's see how it goes in. Very nice. Guys, and I could use this E-track, which would be just fine, but somebody mentioned L-track, and it's also called airline track, and it's narrow. It's probably, looks to be about that wide. The one that I'm looking at has a flange, so it'll fit flush to the floor, so I'd have to take a router, and I'd router it out. It looks to be just about a ½ an inch deep that I'd have to take out. So this is 3/4 inch plywood on the floor, so that would be no problem at all. And I'd run one right down the middle, then I'd run one probably maybe like 2 inches in from the wall, run one down the entire length that way, then I'd do the same thing, run one down the entire length that way. Let's say I had like a regular wheel chalk. They make a fixture that you can put a crossbar onto that wheel chalk, which I could probably just make, probably just be a piece of aluminum flat bar, and there'd just be a little piece on each side of that L-track, just clip right in. So that way I could move them forwards or backwards. And let's say I wanted to put 6 bikes in, like I was saying earlier, these bikes wouldn't work here. I'd have to have them way up here. So in that case, those would just stay down, and then I just put some other wheel chocks here, clip them into that L-track, and run with it. But for now, like I say, this one and this one right here is perfectly balanced. As we just saw, this will work out great as far as the hitch weight to tow these bikes all around whenever we go on a trip. Because we're also going to have additional weight up here, I'm going to build a overhead storage cabinet, which that's all going to be aluminum, so we're going to have to figure out that. And I'm going to do a workbench, and that workbench will go pretty much from this little point here all the way across. As I spoke in the last episode, this is going to be my toy hauler / mobile welding rig, so it's probably going to have a couple welders in it, and I'm going to have to do something for shore power, so when I go somewhere I can plug in either to a place or a generator that'll take 220, and I can still run a few interior shop lights. As you can see, guys, when you walk in, you'll have clear access to walk right in this place. You know, it'll look even better when this is out of here. This is out of here. I may even do a black or gray, I don't know, coin floor. Probably go gray just because everybody else goes black. So I think that kind of looks kind of neat, the contrast between the black and the gray floor. Now, I'm not decided on that yet. It adds more weight to the trailer, so I'm not sure if I want to do that or not. Figured I'd also show you something too, guys, that somebody sent me. It's not a plug or anything like that. They just sent me these gloves to use, and I'm actually really liking them. The one thing that I have an issue with is when I ever wear latex gloves, they're good for about a half an hour, and I noticed that when I was doing the wheel bearings in last week's episode, that eventually I end up poking a hole through one of the fingertips, and they don't last. So these are kind of cool because they're reusable latex gloves. Let me show you, they're super comfortable. So what it is it's got like this regular glove material, almost like a gardening glove type thing, but then it has this like adhesive type black coating on it. They're just super comfortable. So like, let's say you got to answer the phone or something, you can take your glove right back off and you can put it right back on, easy as that. So I've been real happy with these so far. I'll put a link down in the description. Like I said, this isn't sponsored or anything like that. They did send them to me and just tell me to try them out and ask me if I liked them. And I go through a lot of gloves, particularly just from taking them off and putting them back on, but most of the time I end up blowing a hole through them, which is kind of irritating. And here's a little spot right here on the floor. I don't know what this floor was originally painted with for a paint, but figure this would help kind of blend in a little bit better than just bare wood. Like I say, guys, I try to take really good care of my stuff, and you know, it's a lot easier to take care of it as you go than it is to just have to replace it early because you neglected it. Probably just throw a couple coats on this just to keep everything sealed up. Probably won't matter anyways. I probably don't even have to do it, but better than nothing, I guess. Let that dry for a few minutes and we'll hit it with a second coat. So now we're just going to put some of these carriage bolts down through this bracket right here and into the floor with some flat washers on the bottom. And it's kind of nice because it actually comes with nylon locking nuts, which that'll keep it from vibrating loose. Then I'll have to pick up some like tech screws or metal screws to screw into the aluminum frame on the ends. Alright, let's give it a try. So when you want to put a bike in, you just flip that up and just strap it down. And I will never have anything in here with a tire bigger than this. This is a 21-inch tire. And you can see it doesn't have to sit all the way down in there, but the center line of the tire is, you know, here, and that is back there. So it's wanting to push the bike forward, and it's sitting down inside that. So that's all it needs, and it is good and secure just as it sits right now. I am super happy how stable this is, and like I said, once I put these down, then it's out of the way, and you don't have to carry anything around, you don't have to clip anything in. This is just how it'll sit all the time. And that's it, guys. Now these aren't the straps that I would use if I was hauling something. These are just what I put in here just to try it out, to kind of see how much distance I have from my handlebars to the wall. And I got plenty for any bike that I'd want to put in here. And but I wouldn't trust these straps. I use really nice straps from a company called Rhino. I've had really good luck with them. Plus I'd want to strap it at the back to, you know, at least 4 points on the bike. That way I know it's not going to move any. Then I just kind of like tucked this one back here for now, just so I kind of got room to move around in here while I'm doing stuff. I'm going to be putting some lights up here and whatnot. And that's all there is to it, guys. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. If this is something that you like, please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. New videos every Friday. I know this is a little different than the content that I normally do, but I figured it'd be a nice little change of pace, switch it up a little bit. Until next week, guys, I will see you then. Take care, stay safe, like, comment, subscribe. See ya.